Good afternoon, class. Thank you so much for connecting to Metric Hub. Uh, we are meeting term 1 revision, geography grade 12. Please note that Metric Hub is here to support you. Please don't lose and don't fail to progress after Metric. NSFAS is there to support, and it can only support after you have passed, after you have reached certain grades. Let's make distinctions right now, right here. Connect now and follow Metric Hub. Just subscribe, join membership, and you are there for life until we write grade 12 end of year November. I'm trusting and promising you that you won't regret your connection, you won't regret your time. So this is term 1. This is just term 1, end of term. Uh, it's a mock and practice paper, also with answer series that we are going to give and explain, giving reasons for every situation and other relative questions that you are going to see in regard to this topic or this revision session. So without wasting any time, we want to go through the paper. I always say that grade 12, please note that instructions are very important. You read instructions as you go through each paper, and as you are going to write exams, all the best and keep passing. Follow instructions per session, per question, as well as per the full paper that you are writing. So we are given Fig 1, which you are supposed to show stages in the development of mid-latitude cyclones. If you go to Metric Hub, we have a proper session and a proper lecture that was given about this. So now this is the development of mid-latitude cyclone. And then questions are coming. I'm sure that you can see the various illustrations that are on the board right now. So the question that reads now says, name the front at 60 degrees south in the diagram X where mid-large cyclone develop. I'm sure that if you can remember this question, I had a time whereby I explained and I gave it to you that this is how it goes at 60 degrees south latitudes. What front do we find there? I'm saying this is a polar front that we find or that is located at 60 degrees latitude. Polar front is found or is located there. It is established there. So it is a polar front that is at 60 degrees, south. It is a polar front. I think I'm just going to go through revision strictly right now for the interest of time, because the lecture whereby these were explained is also attached on the channel. Please follow that one. At 60 degrees south latitude, we have the polar front. That is the polar front. And name the stage of development of mid-life cyclone at X. At X, if you can look at the diagram, which is there, we are saying, you can see that this, we are still seeing the formation of we are saying it is the initial stage which is developing or which is showing the formative stage. We are saying at X there is evidence that we are seeing there is occlusion fluent which is there, which is also trying to show the circulation or the building up of air masses that is showing there. So now what you need to know is that this is called a formative. It is called formative or initial stage. Just say formative or initial stage. So I want you to take note of the stages of development of mid-latitude cyclone. I have got also a clearer lecture whereby diagrams and notes are given explaining the stages in the development of mid-latitude cyclone. So now I'm saying please refer to Metric Hub again in order for us to get more detail on this. Give the lowest air pressure recorded at Y, air pressure that is recorded at Y, the lowest air pressure that is recorded at Y. We are saying at Y here, at Y. the lowest air pressure that is recorded there, we can see that we have to look at we are supposed to look at these at these at these at these lines here, which we say that pressure is measured in what? Lines joining places of the same pressure. So therefore, what we need to understand is that at Y, as you can see, we need to understand and see that this can be, we are seeing that there must be an interval that is there, which we are saying the interval must be able to be used, or you must use the interval in order for you to understand this development, or these cyclones that we are talking about. So now what happens is that we have got 1000, we have got 1008 on the next bar here. We have got 1080, which explains also that the next one below it is 1000. I'm saying we can say we are seeing the interval is 44. So if we say 1080, it is good to 1060, and then we go to 1010. So I'm saying this one, it can be 1060, and then the inner bar that is here is going to be 1000. So that what happens there is that we are saying there is an interval that needs to be understood with regards to uh, explaining this pressure variation or this pressure recordings. So what I'm saying is we need to understand the interval that is applying in each of the scenarios that are there. So as you can see, I'm saying we have got an interval of what? Of 4444. So if we say 1080, and then we say 1000, and then we go there, then we say that the pressure at Y should be 1000 hectopascals. 1000 hectopascals. One thousand hectopascals. And then the next question is saying which mid-latitude cyclone is older? Which mid-latitude cyclone is older in terms of Y or Z? In terms of Y or Z, which one is older? Y or Z? We are saying which one is older. As we can see, Y or Z, we are saying this is illustrating also the formation of mid-latitude cyclone. So we can see that at Z, we are seeing the cyclone is already established. So we are saying it is an established cyclone, which we can see that Z identifies it is identifying an older stage in terms of the stages of mid-cyclone development. I'm saying if you can check in the stages of cyclone development, you see that Z is the one that explains, it explains, it is Z that explains an older stage in terms of cyclone development. This one, you can just need to look or see the pictures in terms of the various stages of cyclone development, mid-latitude cyclone development. And then we go again, we are saying name the stage of development of mid-cyclone at Z, which I'm seeing that you can see that at Z there is the upliftment of air in the atmosphere that we are seeing at Z. I'm saying we have got also in the occluded front that is showing that we have got all the warm air has been taken up into the atmosphere. We have got warm air suspended in the atmosphere, and then we have got air on the ground. So what happens is that at Z, we can be able to tell that this is an occlusion or occluded stage. It is occluded stage that we can see, which is identified by the presence of, we are saying, a fully occluded stage, which we have got the chord, the warm and cold front being there. And then what we say, or what we need to understand, is that this identifies occluded stage. Occluded, it's occluded stage. And then name the list. What evidence suggests that the illustrated cyclone is in the southern hemisphere? I have got an illustration in terms of the pressure cells, whereby you need to know the circulation of air masses to say that in southern hemisphere, what identifies that this is southern hemisphere and this is northern hemisphere? It is because of the pattern of circulation of the air masses. So what evidence is illustrating that cyclone is in southern hemisphere? If we go to the to our diagram, what is showing that, or what is showing this, is the circulation of the air masses. We are saying this is a clockwise. We have got a clockwise motion, a clockwise motion or a clockwise circulation that is shown here. These are clockwise. This is clockwise motion that we are seeing here. And then we also see that chord sector is also facing the southward. As you can see, the chord sector is facing the southward. And again, we can talk about the warm sector, which is facing the northern side, or the northwards. So what happens is that of key importance is the circulation of the air masses that suggest the type of the hemisphere that we are in. So we are saying one air mass, we are talking about clockwise rotation of the air, clockwise rotation, clockwise rotation of the air shows that we are in the southern hemisphere. The air circulate in the clockwise direction. We also have warm sector facing northwards that I already showed you again. At the warm sector facing, it is facing northwards. And again, we have also to take note of that the chord sector is facing southward. The chord sector we have got also the chord sector facing southwards. And then eventually we are saying we have got the 60 degrees latitude line of is also shown there, which I've also shown, or which is also visible there on the graph, that we have got the 60 degrees south line of latitude that is shown. The 60 degrees line, which is shown here, 60 degrees latitude line is shown, which means it is 60 degrees south. We are in the southern hemisphere. If it was in the north, we are supposed to see 60 degrees N, which shows that it is northern. So in this case, we have got the 60 degrees line that is showing, that is shown there to say that we are 60 degrees southward on the map. It's 60 degrees south line, latitude, south line of latitude. It's also shown. It is also shown on the map that identifies that we are actually in southern hemisphere, 60 degrees south line is actually shown. I showed you the 60 degrees south line there, which we talked about there to say that it identifies the polar front from the first questions we started with. What is the term used to describe mid-latitude cyclone that are linked to one another? We say that when we talk about mid-latitude cyclone that are linked to one another, we say that they are called a family. They are called, we say that they are called a family. I'm sure if you can check very well again in terms of our lectures that I've given on the channel again, we talked about family of cyclones or cyclones families or family of depressions. If they are linked to one another, they are called family of depressions, family of depressions, or we can also say that they are also called uh, family of what? Of cyclones or cyclone families. Family of cyclones, cyclone families, or family of cyclones. They are called family of cyclones or cyclone families if they are mid-latitude cyclone that are linked to one another. And then we are given that fig that shows the effect of slope aspect, the direction to which a slope faces, and then options are provided that we should use. So now that is what we are saying the north facing slopes, and then we are given the direction of the sun, of course, in relation to the slope, amount of precipitation, which we are saying our rainfall is also given there, and then we are given a weather station, bedrock, and so forth and so forth. So now let us just quickly go to the questions and check what the question is saying. As slope aspect refers to the slope aspect, it actually refers to direction of the valley in relation to the sun's rays. It actually identifies the direction of the slope, which is the direction of the valley, the direction of the slope of the valley in relation to the sun's rays, how is the sun oriented towards the slope, the orientation of the sun with regards to the slope, we call that aspect. We have got also a video that explains this, which is also explained on channel there. The fig represents a landform in the dash hemisphere. If we look in this, we are saying which hemisphere it shows a slope in which hemisphere we are saying there is north facing slope which is receiving more of sunlight. So now what are we supposed to understand? We need to see what is the fig is representing a landform, represents a landform which is in what? It is in southern hemisphere. We say southern hemisphere slopes, it is southern hemisphere, which we said in relation to the sun. You'll find out that most of the houses are built they are not facing in order for them to receive more sunlight. So what is happening is southern hemisphere, and then the slope x represents the dash slope. The slope x represents the slope x represents dash. The slope x it represents the slope x, it represents the slope x there. It actually, what does it represent? I'm saying if you look on the question, the slope x represents the dash slope. It is actually, as you can see there, it is, you see there is rain, precipitation is there. We see rain is there. We also see temperature or warm slope again, which is also shown by what? Which is also shown by this. by this slope that we are looking at. So the slope X, it represents a rain or a warm slope. It represents a rain, which is shown as, like I said, the precipitation and also the heat that is coming directly to it, as you can see there. So it represents a warm and rain slope. It represents a warmer and rain slope. Y, slope Y receives slope Y, it receives, uh, we are saying, let's see on the map what is happening with slope Y. Slope Y, as you can see, there is the orientation. We are saying it has got less sunlight. It is in the shade. It has got no sunlight there. Slope Y does not get direct sunlight. So what we are seeing is that the solar, the incoming insolation, it hits towards slope X that at Y. So the question is saying slope Y receives less insolation. It receives less insolation. It receives less insolation, which is to say that the answer what is B. It has less, it is in the shadow zone. It is sometimes defined as a slope which is in the shadow zone, which means to say that quite a lot of times it is within the shadow. Soils in Y is dash. Soils in Y. Soils in Y. If you go again, soils in Y, they are always, we say they are what? They are also, they cannot dry also because of less insolation. So what happens is that soils in Y, they are more moisture. We are saying slopes soils in Y, they are moist. They receive the rain there. We are saying that they receive this groundwater, and then they have no sunlight. As the water moves, they are what? They are moist. And then slope X, which we said that is directly, it's the one that is, we said slope X, which we said that it is what? It is warmer and rain. Slope X, we said it is warmer and rain, so it is suitable for what? It is suitable for crop farming. It is suitable. Slope X, we say that it is in the rain and warm zone, so it is suitable for crop farming. It is suitable for crop farming. Slope X, I want you to see, we say that it is suitable for, there is precipitation, there is also good temperatures, so it is suitable for crop farming in zone X. Is suitable for crop farming. Again, in south facing slopes, in south facing slope, south facing areas falling in the shadow zone of the slope are heated only through dash. The south facing slope areas falling in the shadow zone of the slope are heated only through, they are heated only through, which we are saying that they are heated only through the reflection. We are saying they are in the shadow zone, so the reflection of heat is the one that helps them to be what? To be heated. Slopes in what? In the shadow zone. The south-facing areas falling in the shadow zone of the slope are heated through reflection. We are saying they are heated through reflection. Reflection of heat causes the heating of the shadow zone because there is no way that the heat can reach there. And then the shadow zone in slope Y occurs because it is facing away from the sun. It is facing away from the sun, so that is why it is called the shadow zone. It is facing away from the sun. That is why we say that uh, it is away from the sun. So here now, we need to look at the next question, which wants us to look at infograph shows information of tropical cyclone and so forth. Here, what happens is that the infographic was just not clear enough, so we just went straight to the information. So how many cyclones hit Madagascar, including Cheneso? So what happens is that the first letter defines the name of it defines the number of cyclones that have hit in the what in the area. So the letters of alphabet defines how many cyclones. So if we look at the first letter in terms of the name of this cyclone, C, so it says including. The question is here to say including Cheneso. So therefore, we should understand that there are three of them. What is happening is that we have got A, we have got B, we have got C. So the name of the cyclone is what? Is Cheneso, which is number 3. I'm saying this, it is number 3 in the alphabet. Therefore, we are saying including it, we have got what? We have got 3 cyclones that have hit Madagascar in this one. It is the next question is saying this cyclone, we can just read the essay there. It actually shows the depth, the times where the cyclone was first identified. This was in on the 18th of January. That was 18th of January 2023 anyway. And then differentiate between tropical storm and a category of 4 tropical cyclone. And then we are saying a tropical storm is actually a tropical storm. A tropical storm, what happens is that it is actually a localized low pressure system over a warm ocean. It's a localized low pressure system. It is a localized, as to say, confined to a small area. It is confined to a small area, which is actually low pressure system over warm oceans occurring. We are saying low pressure system over warm oceans. Over warm ocean, that is a tropical storm. That is a tropical storm. So again, if we say we are saying category 4 tropical cyclones, there are tropical cyclones in that are actually very much intensified. We are saying these are category 4. What you need to know is that this is actually tropical cyclone, is actually intensified tropical cyclone with its severe weather condition. It's a fully developed and intensified, as to say, intensified tropical cyclone with its severe weather conditions. With its severe weather conditions, we call that a tropical cyclone. And then a tropical storm is quite localized. It is just quite confined, which is actually developing in terms of warm oceans. That is one thing that we need to understand. We need to take note of that. And then we can go again and see this photograph was also put here for us to refer to, but let's just quickly check something before we go to this one. It says Emergency Response Coordination Center cautioned that 55,000 people could be affected. In 8 lines, explain how people could be affected by Cheneso. We are saying here is just saying how can people be affected by what? By tropical cyclones. What needs to be understood here is that the effect of tropical cyclone on people is what the question is asking. The question is asking that we can talk about people become homeless. People become homeless because their houses are destroyed. People, they become homeless because their houses are destroyed. They become homeless as houses are destroyed by tropical cyclones. And then there is loss of lives as people die because of this. People, they die as a result of these strong winds and rainfall. As people die, we can also talk about destruction or destruction of their property, destruction of people's property. It's their property, and also infrastructure in general. Destruction of people's property and infrastructure is also destroyed. That can also affect, it's also the way through which these people are affected. And then we talk about injuries and sicknesses. Injuries and sicknesses that people could have, and sicknesses that people may have again because of the effect of tropical cyclones as the tropical cyclones are hitting these places. We talk about the uh, loss and unavailability of infrastructure, unavailability, loss, and or unavailability of transport system as the roads are destroyed. There is no transport that people can have, also because we are talking about the destruction of property and roads. And then we talk about loss of communication systems. This is because the telecommunication lines are also, they also loss of communication system due to the destruction of the telecommunication systems, telecommunication lines. They fall, and therefore poles are falling. At the end of the day, people cannot be able to communicate as a result of that. And then we need to go to the next question, which is giving such a photograph. I just attached it as it was just also within our question paper. But let's just go to the next part of it. It says beige winds over South Africa. The beige winds over South Africa. There is quite a lot of presentations that are given with regards to beige winds, South African weather conditions, and so forth. And then which seasons do we experience beige winds? Beige winds, we say that these are experienced in what? These are experienced in winter. They are experienced in winter. I have explained quite a lot of times in terms of the development of beige winds and give the synoptic conditions evident in Fig that is necessary for development of beige winds. We are saying that there is the beige winds. What is necessary for the development of beige winds is that we can see that there is the continental or Kalahari high pressure, which we say that the presence of Kalahari high pressure, which is within the interior or central there, we are saying it identifies that, remember that we said it is found within or internally within the country there. So now what is evident is there is that we have got Kalahari high pressure, Kalahari high pressure. We can also talk about the continental, which is another term that is used, or continental high pressure cell. I'm saying these are same terms that are used to define Kalahari high pressure, Kalahari or continental high pressure. And also, we can also talk about the coastal law that is also given there. The coastal law is also present. And uh, coastal, the coastal law that is also evident on the map. It shows that we can have page winds developing. Describe the cloud cover and temperature condition that exist over the plateau during the occurrence of beige wind conditions. What happens there is that we are saying which exist over the plateau during the occurrence of beige wind conditions, cloud cover. We are saying over the plateau, we are saying that this is the great escarpment. So therefore, we are saying over the plateau, what happens is that we need to know that because of that, during the occurrence of the beige winds, we do have clear skies, and we do have clear skies. Clear skies are evident. We have got clear skies that are evident there. Clear skies, and also we have got also low temperatures. During the times of beige winds, the cloud cover, it results in clear skies and also low temperatures. That must be known again that. And then state with reason the temperature characteristics of beige winds experienced along the coastal areas of South Africa. We are saying characteristics state with reasons the characteristics. So now we are saying beige winds, one, they have got we have got hot and dry wind. We say hot and dry. The wind is hot and dry. So what happens? The reason is because the air is compressed and warms adiabatically because of friction. Air is compressed and it warms. It warms adiabatically. It warms. And then we are saying it warms adiabatically. It warms adiabatically, which is this is or air it heats up because of friction, or it heats up. It can also heat up because of friction. I'm sure you remember that the adiabatic warming is that when air falls, when air is falling, the subsidence of air causes it to warm. So we said that at every 100 meters fall, the air warms by by 1 degree Celsius. We've been talking about these adiabatic lapse rates, the changes of air temperature with the height. So in this case, as the air is falling, it warms up. It warms up, then for the temperature increases. It can also increase due to friction. That is also one other point that you need to understand. And then we have got number two, air originates from the interior, which we say that this is offshore wind. The air is also it is also dry and warm. It is dry and hot because it originates also from the interior. Air, it originates from the interior. It originates from interior. What it means is that this is what we say. This is also offshore, it's called an offshore wind, which means that the offshore wind is generally hot and dry. It's naturally hot and dry because it is developing over the land. Since it develops, since it originates from the land. That is one thing that I want you to take note of. In terms of the temperature characteristics of beige winds, the air is hot and dry. It is also because of the first reason of compression that we talked about as it falls. And then I am saying again, it is also because it originates from the land. It is hot and dry because it originates from the land. For that reason, it is dry because it is not coming from a water source or from a water center or a water reservoir. Discuss the impact of beige winds. Describe the impact that beige winds can have on the health of people. The impact of beige winds on the health of people. We talk about it causes high levels of discomfort because the high temperatures, we are saying one, it causes high levels of discomfort. It causes high levels of discomfort where people cannot be comfortable because of the high temperatures. We talk about causing, it causes headaches. High temperatures can cause people to be dehydrated, and then they have got problems of headache, which we say that dehydration, it is one condition that is also causing many other diseases or conditions that we are talking about. And then we talk about fatigue and tiredness. Fatigue and tiredness. Fatigue and tiredness is also another condition or another problem that people would also have. Fatigue and tiredness. And then otherwise we can talk about bleeding nose. I think we have seen quite a lot of times when people are exposed to high temperatures, they start to have bleeding nose again, which is another discomfort that we need to take note of. And then question 1.6, it says, beige winds intensify veld fires. There are higher chances of veld fires that can also be caused because of beige winds. Suggest two strategies that farmers can implement to prevent the spreading of veld fires. When fires are to just form, we say runaway fires. This can be prevented by erection of fire guards. Erection of fire. Erection of fire guards, which we say these are called fire breakers. These are called fire breakers, which must be there. What happens is that we do have some times whereby you should know that some pathways are cut, some places are cleared off of grass and vegetation, such that if fires are going to be formed, the fire cannot cross over that open space which have got no grass or no vegetation. So we call that a what? A fire guard or a breaker. And then we also talk about we talk about security, which is lookout towers. Erect, we say lookout towers. This also helps in terms of watching the chances of fire outbreaks. We can also talk about firefighters, employment of enough firefighters. We are saying that this can also help firefighters to quench the fire. We can talk about uh, good and reliable emergency response, reliable emergency response, which has to do with good and reliable emergency response, which has to do with even water tankers and jets that can help to quench off the fire. We also need to talk about farmers have to build farm dams, building farm dams. They also help in terms of avoiding the spreading of the fires that we are talking about. They can also help in that respect. And then I want us to quickly go to the next question, which is urban heat island, the alarming issue of mega cities. It is saying that mega cities have got problems of urban heat islands, which you can see we have got heat released by traffic, lack of shading, building materials, and then all other generalization of wind that we can otherwise see there. So the question that reads first is saying, define the concept urban heat island. Urban heat island, we say that these are tendencies of having the city with higher temperatures surrounded by rural areas with what? With lower temperatures. We are saying a tendency and situation of having cities with higher temperatures. With higher temperatures that are surrounded by rural areas with lower temperatures. So what happens, class, is that we tend to have high temperatures in the city. Temperatures tend to be very high in the city than the way they are from the surrounding rural areas. So cities, they generally tend to have high temperatures, and effect of that, we are going to look at that, which is causing such scenarios. So now, that is urban heat island. As you can look if you can look also from the diagram here, you can see that we are saying in this case, we are not given the graph that tends to show the temperatures, that the temperatures are just, as you can see, in most cases, we tend to have temperatures, which we are saying that this line can be used to measure what? Temperature. So we are saying in this case, we have got our temperature, and then we are saying temperature tends to increase with distance. I mean, it tends to increase as we go into the inner city. So what is supposed to be understood here is that we define that as urban heat island. It's an island of heat because heat is high in the city. And then identify uh, three factors from the diagram that contributes to the development of urban heat island. We are saying what is contributing to urban heat island. In this case, we can talk about this with regard, with or without checking. We talk about building materials that are used there. We are saying building materials are there. We talk about heat from traffic, heat from what are the channelization of wind because of the tall buildings that we have here. These are also contributing. So we have got one, concrete building materials that are used in terms of the building of these buildings. We talk about traffic congestion. Traffic congestion in what? In urban areas. They are also causing urban heat island. We can talk about the issue of the reflection, or we are saying the release of heat from the buildings. The tall buildings are also releasing heat. We can also talk about other factors that is to do with artificial heating that is found in cities. Artificial heating used in cities, it also contributes to that. Artificial heating, we talk about air cons and so forth. They are also contributing in terms of urban heat island. And then explain how the urban heat island can increase the cost of living of urban dwellers. We say that this can result in acid rain, which results in peeling of paint. One, acid rain can be formed. Acid rain affects infrastructure. It affects infrastructure. We see that the buildings that is painting, peeling off of paints, and corrosion. We talk about that as an effect that affects these people. We talk about maintenance and renovation. Maintenance and renovation. Maintenance and renovation costs in terms of their properties. They have to keep on renovating them. We talk about the accumulation of soot on buildings results in more cleaning requirements. The accumulation of soot results in higher need of cleaning, in higher need for cleaning services. Which is actually adding cost in that respect. We talk about regular replacement and fitting of air conditioners. Regular replacement and purchase of air conditioner. Because of this air conditioners must be replaced quite a lot of times. They need to be replaced severally. So it's another expense that we need to talk about, which has to be understood in this respect. And then we talk about also the effect of their metal structures that needs to be they need to be also renovated because of corrosion. Metal their metal structures are affected by corrosion and rust. and they need renovation as well. They need renovation. All these are quite important points that we can add with regards to the effect of cost of living in urban dwellers as a result of urban heat island. We can even talk about the effect of medical cost increase in medical cost bills. We talked about people becoming sick frequently, so they have to consistently go to hospitals and check-ups, so which is also another economic cost which must be understood as we go to that, and then discuss 3 sustainable strategies that can be implemented to minimize the effect of urban heat island. The strategies that can ways to minimize to minimize these ones. We say, one, to minimize the development of urban heat island. We can talk about, one, improvement of public transport to reduce number of vehicles in the city. Encouragement of use of public transport to allow less traffic and pollution in the city. It reduces traffic congestion, and also it helps in terms of that. We talk about use of bright colors in paintings to reduce, actually to minimize heat up, to reduce and minimize, to minimize absorption of heat. We can also talk about decentralization of industries, which can also work there. Decentralization of industries. It helps to actually decongest cities with the traffic, so there is less industries that are also going to reduce the traffic of people as well as pollution in cities. That can also help in terms of that, and then increase the number of water features to cool the area. Number of water features to cool the area. It can also help to say that water features or greening of the city, which we can say is another point to say greening, building or greening of the city, that is planting trees and vegetation. This has to do with the parks, trees and vegetation. They can help planting trees and vegetation. They can also help in terms of this. And then this can also be minimized by also increase eco-friendly buildings to absorb less heat. friendly buildings to absorb less heat. So basically, I'm saying, class, all these are points that can apply with regards to uh, every effort that can be done to reduce the effect of high temperatures in the city. It can be applicable. We talk about trees, planting of trees, brighter colors in the cities, decentralization of industries, as to say, encourage building of industries in other rural places. That is decentralization, not only to allow business to be done in cities, and then water features in terms of increasing the cooling system. We talk about greening of the cities, which can also rooftop gardens. It also comes with this, we say rooftop rooftop gardens can also work in terms of this. So basically, I'm saying, classy, these are strategies which are used to reduce the effect of what, or to minimize the development of urban heat island. Thank you so much, class, for your time, and all the best. Until we meet again, keep connected and keep following Metric Hub. We are here for you. Each term 2 is coming, is actually loading anytime soon. So just keep following and keep connected. Don't forget to join membership and also subscribe to the channel in order for you to keep connected. Thank you.